Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Don't Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I'm going to be discussing is we're going to talk about Eric Bieniemy and why is he not getting a head coaching job at the NFL level or even the college level now. If you didn't see the news already, you would have seen Eric Bieniemy took the offensive coordinator job at UCLA. He recently, as you all know, was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs for quite a number of years. Then he transitioned over to saying, I'm not getting the head coaching respect or in the respect of becoming a head coach in the NFL. I'm going to go become an OC somewhere else. He became the OC of the Washington Commanders because people thought it was all Andy Reid. It wasn't really Eric Bieniemy. So he went and became the OC of the Commanders. Well, then here recently, the Commanders ended up deciding to fire Ron Rivera as the head coach. Dan Quinn, the new head coach, decided not to bring Eric Bieniemy back on as a staff member, which then left Eric Bieniemy out of a job. He had to find a new job. And I would have thought, oh, maybe he'll go somewhere else. Maybe he'll be able to find a head coaching job in this head coaching cycle that was going on recently. And he did not. And then here recently, I saw breaking news. Eric Bieniemy hired, and I was thinking, oh my God, is he actually going to get a head coaching job? Because then I saw UCLA. Oh my God, maybe that's what he needs to do. He needs to just go leave the NFL scene, go down to college. Maybe he can become a head coach down there. No, he becomes a offensive coordinator in college. And at this point, after everything that's been going on, I'm just wondering, is this man ever going to get the respect to possibly become the head coach, or is there actually a problem? So like I said, I'm going to kind of go through, we're going to break down his history of coaching, where he's been, and then kind of what the reasons is why he's not becoming a head coach, because I've already made a video kind of discussing this recently in the past, and I'll put a link up there if you want to go check that video out, like I said. But we're going to kind of go ahead and break it all down. So if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see here, Eric Bieniemy has been officially hired to be the offensive coordinator of UCLA. Not a bad job if you ask me. He's got some good talent there. Maybe he can try to figure something out. Now, here's the thing with UCLA. Obviously, as we know, they just let go of their head coach, Chip Kelly. He became the new offensive coordinator at Ohio State, leaving a head coaching job to become an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. So then, obviously, with that being said, we have a head coaching opening at UCLA. What does UCLA do? They don't go to Eric Bieniemy to ask him to become the head coach. They go to him ask him to become the offensive coordinator because they decided to hire Deshaun Foster, which was a former running back for the UCLA Bruins years ago. He's coming back to become the new head coach of them. As it says here, he was an assistant for UCLA for about 10 seasons, started running back for the Bruins, and he's now becoming the new head coach for them. Now, with all this being said, it says here Foster does not actually have any coordinator experience when it comes to coaching UCLA. That's why he's bringing in somebody like Bieniemy with the breadth of experience. He has begun to set the vision of what UCLA will look like. On that side of the ball, former head coach Chip Kelly, as we know, served as the offensive player caller for recent seasons, so Foster needed somebody with play calling experience. I'm guessing Foster is not the greatest offensive play caller, so he brought in somebody like Bieniemy, hoping that he can be the guy like that. Now, like I said in the intro, when we talked about Eric Bieniemy, he's been with the Chiefs. Everybody thought he was so good, but then it was like, okay, is he going to get a head coaching job? People started to wonder, why isn't he getting a head coaching job? Maybe it's because he's under Andy Reid, and that could have been. People thought, oh, it's just Andy Reid. He's doing all the work. Bieniemy's just kind of like a shadow there. So Eric Bieniemy took it from his own strength, and he had to just say, I need to go somewhere else. I'm sorry, Andy. I respect you as a coach. You are the greatest teacher ever, but I need to go somewhere else and show that I can do this. He goes to Washington. Washington, they didn't do the greatest. They ended up losing most of their games this season. Obviously, as we can see, they have the second overall pick. He did pretty good with Sam Howell for the early part of the season. He was transforming Sam to be not a bad quarterback, not a god-awful quarterback, just not the best quarterback. The problem with Sam was he was just very turnover happy. He was throwing a lot of interceptions. I do think, though, the big thing with Eric Bieniemy, and I've made this, like I said, I made that video a while back, talking about Eric Bieniemy and the kind of the reasons why people don't like him that much. And it's because he's a hard coacher. That's kind of the big thing. Now, take it as you may, whatever you like. If you like if you like an aggressive coach, if you like a soft coach, whichever kind of coaching style you like, he was an aggressive coach. He was the kind of guy that told you, run, motherfucker, run. Or if you were tired and you wanted to get a drink of water, he told you, basically like what we saw of Remember the Titans. He said water was for cowards. That was his coaching style. He wanted to get the best out of you. And it's not that he's trying to kill you. He's trying to make you be the best player you could possibly be. And as we saw from the Kansas City Chiefs with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, now do understand, Mahomes and Kelce, they're already great, but I think Bieniemy kind of helped him a little bit along the way. And Kelce and Mahomes, they'll both tell you the same exact thing. The amount of times they've asked Tyreek Hill about Eric Bieniemy, and Tyreek Hill is right there behind Eric Bieniemy's back saying, I love the man. He's the greatest coach or teacher that I've had. Now, is there any way that Eric Bieniemy could possibly get a head coaching job in the near future? In the NFL, probably not. I think when it comes to the NFL, it's a wrap. He's done with that search. When it comes to college, maybe. As we know, when it comes to college, you can go from D1 to D2 to D3, FCS. There's a lot of levels in college, a junior college. You can go through a lot of levels in college to find a head coaching job. Now, I understand it's sad that Eric Bieniemy has to go to those levels, but when people looked at the head coaching job search and said, why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting a head coaching job? It kind of goes down deeper than just, oh, maybe we don't like his X's and O's. There's got to be some personal stuff going on as to making Eric Bieniemy not be a candidate worthy of saying, yep, here's the job, take it. From what we saw from the insiders from the Washington Commanders, they said he was an okay coach, When it comes to his X's and O's, he knows what he's doing. When it comes to coaching you up, he knows what he's doing. It's just he's very aggressive. He's very intense, and if you're not into that coaching style, you might not like him. If you are into that coaching style, you're going to become one of the greatest players we've ever seen. Now, with all that being said, when it comes to UCLA, they lost a couple of their guys and transferred. I believe Dante Moore, the transfer quarterback from there, he ended up going up to Oregon, so he's gone. When it comes to a lot of recruits, and it kind of makes sense to why Chip Kelly left UCLA. He saw better ventures out in Ohio State. He can now just become a regular offensive coordinator. He can just go call plays and have fun doing that. With UCLA, I think they're just kind of turning for the worse right now. They're not doing the great. They are moving to the Big Ten, which is good thing for the UCLA. More money, better revenue, helps out the school a lot. But the overall landscape of the school, whenever it comes to their football program, it's in a rough spot right now. And I feel like with Eric Bieniemy, he's chasing the wrong opportunities. Like him going to Washington, I don't know if it was the greatest option. He took the chance, and he just swung and missed. And now same thing with UCLA. It's an opportunity, but he might end up swinging and missing. Now whether he stays there for only a year and then jumps somewhere else, that remains to be seen. Whether he goes there for 2 years, 3 years, whatever happens. I do think though, if he wants to become a head coach, college is where it's at. Like the NFL is like the landscape, like that's where you want to be when it comes to head coach. College is a close second, and college it's very doable for Bieniemy. Now I'm not saying he needs to go looking for like I said, the Ohio State, the Alabama, Georgia, way up here. But if he can find like a Boise State or a Wyoming or Hawaii or some of these like group of 5 schools, East Carolina, a UCF, if he can find one of these schools, why not? Hell, Hugh Jackson with the Cleveland Browns, he was god fucking awful, and he's become the head coach of Grambling State. I think the name of the school, Grambling State, and he's doing not the best, but he's doing a job. He's getting by, that's what we'll say. So like it kind of shows that if Hugh Jackson can get a job, Eric Bieniemy can get the job of a college if he says the right things and is a nice person. And that's the thing I'm wondering about. Is he a nice person when it comes to interviews, or is he just being like a hard ass and saying like, I'm going to run this program how I want to run it? And that's where it's kind of turning off general managers, owners, etc. Last couple things I want to say is this. I enjoy the hard coaching style. Like if I was a football player and I was getting coached hard like that, I'm going to like it because I know in the back of my mind before, I would make sure that like Eric Bieniemy, he needs to make sure beforehand, he sits down with all his guys and he says, before I start screaming and cussing and yelling at you, I'm doing this out of love, and I'm doing this out of, I want you to be the best fucking player you could possibly be. When I'm screaming at you and telling you, you suck, you don't play good, you are horrible, get the fuck off this field, you don't deserve to be here. I'm not saying that like intentionally, like telling you really get off the field. I'm telling you, to make you get pissed off and want to prove me wrong. And that's what Eric Bieniemy does a lot of the time, and I think players take it the wrong way. Players get pissed off, and that's why coaches, like I said, coaches, GMs, owners, and now with like colleges, like team presidents, they might take it the wrong way. All I gotta say is I really hope that Eric Bieniemy can get a head coaching job, like I said. Whether it's like a group of 5 D1 school, or maybe even a D2 school, somewhere. The man's gotta get a head coaching job somewhere. It's gotta come eventually. But other than that, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure you guys drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, if you think Eric Bieniemy should be a head coaching job, have a head coaching job right now, if you think he should not, if you think the UCLA OC job is the smart move, let me know down in the comment section down below as to what you think about the whole thing. If you're a fan of the content that I do poster and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Don't Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.